Tonight, on Localite with John Compton, Buzzy Nielsen catches John up on all the happenings in the Hood River County Library System, which reopened in July. Buzzy, the new director of the library, brings a love for research, media, public relations, and technology to Hood River County from his original home near Coos Bay. That's all coming up on Localite.
So Buzzy, you're the new director of the Hood River County Library.
I am, yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thanks.
So that was announced like in May, right?
It was, yeah.
Okay.
Probably, I think end of April, early May.
All right.
Yeah.
You're not actually from the Gorge, per se.
I'm not. I am a native Oregonian. I grew up on the coast in a tiny town called Langlois. And I most immediately moved from the coast near that area as well, North Bend, which is next to Coos Bay.
Okay, so from the North Bend area. And that's where you were before coming out here to the Gorge?
It was, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't looking for a job necessarily in the area that I grew up. It just happened that when I finished graduate school, one opened up there.
So why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So how has the Gorge been for you so far in just a few months that you've been here?
Yeah, it's been great. People have been very supportive. I actually live in Cascade Locks.
Oh, okay.
And it's been fantastic. People have been very supportive. One of the things growing up on the coast that I often would worry about is how am I going to find some place as beautiful as the Oregon coast is? But the Gorge is definitely just as beautiful as the Oregon coast.
Yeah.
So it's been fantastic.
Yeah.
And the rain and the wind in Cascade Locks make me feel at home too.
Right. You're as far as the Gorge goes, you're in the perfect spot as far as climate and weather to be what it's like at home.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, you probably feel right at home there.
Yep.
Well, good. Well, tell me then about, because there's been a lot of talk, especially around here, about libraries. And I don't follow libraries that closely, so I don't know. I'm assuming with everything going on in the economy that we're not alone in seeing these institutions shutting down and cutting back and all of that. With you and your new position, how are you dealing with that, and where are you coming from in order to be able to bring something to this?
Well, Hood River County Library District is very fortunate. You're right that we're not alone. There are a couple of counties in Oregon where the same thing has happened. Jackson County and Josephine County, both down in southern Oregon. They have both also reopened, but they've reopened kind of with different models. Jackson County is contracting with a private for-profit firm. The county is. Josephine County is contracting with a private nonprofit firm to run their library. So Hood River County Library District is really the first library that closed and then was reopened with a permanent funding source. So we are a special district, so we actually do have a permanent funding source.
Oh, okay.
The way that we're coping and the way that we're able to open is that normally a government like us would be operating on a carryover from July to November because, you receive your property tax bill around October-ish and
right.
You pay in November, and that's when the tax revenue comes in. So we have had a fantastically supportive community that has donated money, donated time, donated their energy, and we've also had several foundations that have given us grants for early opening. So Meyer Memorial Trust, the Miller Foundation, the Wichita Falls Area Community Foundation, and several others.
So
Oregon Community Foundation.
That's great. So
Yeah.
people definitely believe in it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So the early opening, because like you said, normally it would be November before the tax money would start to kick in. So that's sort of the official opening, or is July the official opening?
July is the official opening.
It is.
We are opening. We are not going to be able to be open as many hours, and we're not going to be able to provide as many services as we would like to when we're open in full.
Okay.
Because we're operating on less money. People have been very supportive, but we're operating on about $200,000 for that 6-month period, where normally on carryover we would be operating on about $300,000 or $350,000.
Oh, so quite a significant difference.
A little less.
Yeah. So what's the driving force behind getting it open, say, July versus just waiting till November and maybe kind of stockpiling that money or putting it away?
The main thing is that people really want a library. So, you probably know part of the history, but there was a measure to create a district in May of 2010 that failed. And so then the library closed on June 30th of 2010. So people of Hood River County been without a library for a year come July 1st. And I think people really miss it. They realize kind of what role that the important role that the library serves in the community.
Yeah.
All three locations, the Hood River branch and the Cascade Locks and Parkdale branches all are kind of community centers. So people wanted their library as soon as they could get it. So that was kind of the driving force behind all the people raising the money and putting in the time and energy to get it started.
Now, will the location in Parkdale and the location in Cascade Locks, will they reopen as well?
They will.
In July?
They will.
They will.
So we're having a grand opening celebration on July 1st at Hood River. We're not going to be open for regular business then, but we're kind of having this open house celebration.
Right.
Regular business starts on July 5th, so people will be able to check out. Hopefully they'll be able to use public computers, things like that. And then Parkdale will open on the 6th and Cascade Locks on the 7th.
So what was it then that drew you to taking on, if I can say that, taking it on? Because I think in many regards, you really are taking on a huge task and something that, you mentioned has a lot of support, but also a lot of opinions around, the library. What made you say to yourself, this is what I want to do? I want to take that on.
Yeah.
Are you that kind of a guy?
I am, I think. Part of it's the challenge. The challenge of it really did excite me. Part of it is, in becoming a special district, the governance of the library has changed. So we used to be a department of Hood River County, and we have changed to being independently governed. So we have an independently elected board that runs the library.
Oh, okay.
So it's a completely separate governance structure, and it essentially is an opportunity to recreate the library. We still have all the books and the DVDs and the audiobooks and the buildings, but the structure that supports the library is able to get recreated. That really excited me and interested me to be a part of that.
Because you actually get to kind of be the face for that.
Yeah.
And be the one that is instrumental in setting that up.
The board has done a tremendous amount of work. So we have a 5-member elected board, and they've done so much getting kind of the necessary but not particularly sexy things, right?
Yeah.
The insurance and getting leases with, leases for the buildings and agreements between the different entities, and they've done a fantastic job at that.
Oh, great. So you rely on them probably pretty heavily.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Although I think they're very happy to have an administrator, because normally a board their primary role would be making policy and setting policy, not being
having to negotiate leases and such.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they're pretty happy to have an administrator on board now too.
Well, good. Well, when we come back, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, I want to learn more and find out more about some of the plans that you guys have there.
Okay,
so
great.
Stick with us. Be right back.
Up next,
I frequently went to the Langlois Public Library, and Langlois Public Library used to be in a room that was probably about half the size of a classroom. It was really, really small. If anybody's been to Cascade Locks or Parkdale branches, it was about that size.
Okay.
So I used to go there all the time, but I actually started volunteering there when I was 15.